everybody. This is one of my first podcasts, and I think today we're going to go off of my advice to junior players, or something that I would have told myself back when I was an up-and-coming player. I still am up-and-coming, obviously. I got a lot of work to do, but the advice I would have given my 15-year-old self or my 16-year-old self, etc., etc. So everyone is a little different when it comes to appearance, their brand, all that, right? Everyone matures a little differently, a little later, a little sooner. It really just depends. So as far as your brand goes, I would say start building that when you start being conscious of it. So I was kind of conscious of it at an earlier age, where whenever I was in a pool room, I was kind of more reserved, and I was just kind of making sure that I was practicing, I was doing this, I was doing that, and treating everyone with respect, kindness. It was just kind of how I was raised anyway, but I think a lot of pool players kind of have a bad rap because they burn bridges or do, things that we'll get into later on in the clip. Burning bridges is one of the things that I'm going to talk about. So I just go for appearance. Appearance obviously means a lot because it's part of your brand. There's a lot of pool players that kind of just go to tournaments in sweatpants and t-shirts, and they wear their sponsor logos over their t-shirt, over like Hurley or something, and it's just, to me, it's kind of not that great for, if I were to put myself in the sponsor's shoes, I would personally not, I'm paying someone to go to a tournament. I'm paying their hotel, their food, their flight, whatever it may be, right? I would just at least want them to wear something clean. So even if it's not a polo, even if it's not a dress shirt, just something maybe solid colors so that the logo pops out more, would be more appreciative to the person sponsoring you, in my opinion. Again, it's all up to you and to each their own, but this is just my opinion, and I think as part of your brand, you're an extension of their brand also. So the more you can do for your sponsor, they'll eventually be able to do more for you. I think a lot of pool players kind of look at it, well, what can you do for me? And I think that's the wrong way to look at it, because if you go up to you say you want to get sponsored by Predator, right? Predator is an amazing company. They make amazing cues. They they send a lot of their players to things. They give incentives, etc., etc., right? I can't get too deep in on that, but every brand does things for their sponsored players, and the more you do for them, the more they're going to give back to you. So in return, it's the more you do for them, the more you're doing for yourself, and that's just my opinion. So it's also how you make pool grow, and how you grow the industry and promote yourself, promote your sponsors, etc., etc. So how you conduct yourselves in a pool room. Don't be getting in, don't be known as that guy that causes trouble, that guy or girl that causes trouble, whoever you may be. Don't try just to be cordial with everyone. If you have a disagreement with someone, it's okay to have a conversation, okay this, okay that, but in my opinion, if it can't be talked out, then you just don't associate yourself with that person and just kind of move on with your life. It's a lot easier, and you're going to have to see these people all the time. So it's just, just try to conduct yourselves well, and I think the rest will kind of fall into place. Sponsors, always ask what you can do for them. Any way you can help them kind of shows your character and shows that you're in it for the long haul, and you are just, along for the ride, and you will make pool your life. That's basically the gist of it, right? Because they're not gonna commit to someone who is maybe I'm in a pool, maybe I'm not in a pool, just kind of, I'm okay at it, I'm good for my age or whatever, 16, 17, but I want you to send me to tournaments, and I want you to do this for me, and I want you to send me cues, and I want you to do all this, right? This is not how it works. But a lot of players think just because they play well, they're entitled to whatever they like, and that's just not the case. Backers, when I was coming up playing, the reason why I got better and better is because I was always constantly in action and gambling and doing this, but it wasn't. I was being backed a lot of times when I was younger because I didn't have a lot of money. And the thing is, treat your backers' money like it's your own money. As far as, don't be getting in bad games that you can't win just so you can maybe make some money. That's not good, especially if you're doing makeup, because then you're on makeup for that much, and then you have to, it's just like don't get into the gambler's mindset of just one more, you know what I mean? I've seen a lot of people go down that path, and it's tough to see, and it's kind of disrespectful to the people that put money towards you also. Having one or two good loyal backers is much better than having a bunch of people that'll back you every now and then, because if you have a game that you're into, a game that's good, you kind of want the same person to keep backing you, so you build that reputation and you build that trust, right? Because there's not a lot of backers that trust pool players, and there's for a good reason for the most part. I've heard a lot of bad stories about people cutting up and just taking their money and then gambling with it. If they win, they're like, oh, we didn't have a game, etc. Just lots of bad stories. So be honest, be truthful, and just know that when you're messing with other people's money, just don't do that. So just just be good to them, and they'll be good back to you. And just so you don't have any bad stories about you, your reputation is very key. Your reputation is very big in a world that basically everyone knows everyone within the industry, and stories get out. Everyone kind of talks to each other, so just be conscious of how your reputation is becoming, and just don't be that guy that owes everybody money, and just pay off your debts. If you lose a money set, don't just focus on the next one, right? So the thing is, when I was coming up, I had a few backers, and I generally always stayed within the same few backers, right? I'm not sure if I want to say the names, just because it's probably easier if we don't do that, but I went through probably 100, 200 matches where I had the same backer. So it's more simple. You can only have one number you call, one number you text, and just make good games for yourself. Treat it like you're your own manager, which you are for your business and your brand, right? And just try not to get into bad games, and always test yourself, obviously, but make the logical choice. Let's see here. Play as many tournaments as you can. I was a big fan of that. I would drive my 2002 Hyundai Elantra around the whole country just to chase a few tournaments, and I love that. And I don't drive as much now because it's harder as you get older to want to do it, so you fly more. But with the increase of airplane costs and all that, it's gonna definitely be more of a driving thing nowadays. So just playing as many tournaments as you can. Try to feel the heat and test yourself under pressure, because you could practice all the time you want. You could go practice in your basement for 10, 12 hours a day, but nothing's gonna simulate the heat like playing for $50 or playing for $100. I'm not saying go gamble money you don't have, but it's always good to test yourself, and if you can afford it, it's good, really, really, really good way to test yourself and to get in the action, get the grease as they call it. And personally, it has helped me a lot, because when I finally got to a big stage in a tournament, let's say Junior Nationals 2015, so 2013 was my first year in Junior Nationals. I think I was 16 or 15, almost 16. So then I got ninth out of I don't even remember, but I got ninth that year, my first big real tournament, right? And I lost to Zach Hampton and Nick Evans. Zach Hampton eventually won the tournament. Nick Evans, I think, I'm not sure how he did, but he did better than me. So the next year after that, my whole family and I drove out to Kentucky, and we went to Junior Nationals 2014. And I went 3 and out, but it's technically 2 and out because I got a bye and then I lost my 2 matches. So it was terrible, right? And I felt like I don't know. I just felt like I couldn't beat anybody, and obviously I didn't. And I needed some change, and I needed some different work ethic. And overall, I just think that kind of helped shape me. I kind of came in with a different mental attitude, and I just practiced my butt off for a whole year. And then the next year, I actually won the Junior Nationals, which was like my goal up until I was 18. So at 17, I won the Junior Nationals, and that kind of, from there, I went to my first international tournament, the World Junior Championships. I think I got 9th through 12th there. I was the highest finishing American, and it kind of just jump-started my whole, then the next goal was Mosconi Cup, etc., etc. So, let's see, the biggest thing I could say is be yourself, because if you're yourself, you don't have to pretend to be anybody else. In my opinion, the more authentic you are, the more you'll speak to fans and audiences, across the world. That's crazy. I personally didn't think anyone outside my family would ever want to watch me play pool, but now I have videos that have thousands of views on them, and it's kind of crazy to think. With TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, all these marketing schemes, right? It's very easy to get yourself out there. So I would recommend building your brand by posting your daily routine, kind of some insights onto where the fans can kind of see, okay, well, I look up to this guy, I look up to this girl, and whoever it may be, I look up to them, and I want to see what they got going on, right? So you might be someone's inspiration. So just kind of think of it like that whenever you're either posting or don't want to go work out or whatever. You could be someone's motivation, even if it's not yours yet. You can be somebody else's, which I think is pretty awesome. So I would say that get on the Instagram, Facebook bandwagon. Facebook's really big with pool players, which is kind of, I've always wondered why, because a lot of people aren't on Facebook. It's more of like the older generation. But people that are into Facebook people that are into pool actually really generally go on Facebook all the time. But the thing is, the broader audience is Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, that kind of stuff. I personally don't have a Twitter, so this is something that I could work on, building my network on there. I could also, but I already post just about everything on Instagram. I have the Facebook page that I post on is probably where you're seeing it, or the YouTube. I'm building my YouTube. So just kind of giving everyone some insight on my daily life, on my training, on whatever, you know what I mean? Because the more that people can relate to you, the better your audience will be, the more loyal they'll be, and you're just not another celebrity to them. You're kind of, I'm not saying I'm a celebrity or anyone else is a celebrity. I'm just saying, like, you don't feel unreachable. You know what I mean? They just say, oh, he's human, and he's a cool dude, or he's a cool girl, she's a cool girl, whatever. I just think building your brand is big, and always remember to thank your sponsors. I personally wouldn't be here without my sponsors. They help me every month. They help me. I can't tell anyone what they give me or anything, but without them, I probably would have to have some sort of a side job to support pool, which, we'll get into that in a second. Don't burn bridges over some momentary weakness or actions. That's big. That comes with maturity, and as you get older, you'll realize that. But as far as pool-wise, it's okay to be competitive throughout the tournament, throughout that, but never bring a bad representation of the sport to where you could affect the impact that others have on the sport. So, just imagine like someone that just got into pool is watching you play, and they're trying to see what it's all about. Or yourself, when you first got into pool, you know what I mean? And you have this all big journey, this long journey, and you want to show that person how far you've come. Just the slamming of the cues and the, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things you could do that shows disrespect to the sport and you as a person. And it happens, everyone is human. People are going to make mistakes, but as long as you learn from them and you try to limit them, that's what we're trying to do, right? It's something that is tough to do, especially at a younger age, to kind of put your mind over your emotions. We're using the long-term goals, right? So the long-term goal, always keep that in mind and work towards that long-term goal. Because if you just have it's cool to have little short goals that you meet, like once, twice a month. Like I want to run 75 balls of straight pull. I want to run 100 balls of straight pull. I want to run a 3-pack. I want to run, etc., right? So having those goals kind of keeps you motivated, and just don't become complacent with it. Because when you become complacent with it, just know there's another kid out there that's working even harder than you, and he's gonna come show you what time it is. So, That's a weird reference. It's a very old person reference. Show them what time it is, but whatever. I'm getting older, so. Let's see. Yeah, so I see a lot of juniors posting about how they can't get to all the tournaments, they can't go to this, that, right? And the moral of the story is that you have to figure out a way. And if you don't have someone that's sending you to tournaments, you don't have someone that's doing this, that, whatever, that's okay. Not everyone comes from parents that can just send them off, what I mean? Not everyone comes from parents that can just, here you go, Sonny, here's, 5,000, go have fun at the tournament, I'm not saying that it's bad that people do that. That's great. But just know that it's okay to have to work for things. And whether it's you pick up a side job, you pick up a you go collect bottles and cans, like you do whatever you can to get to these tournaments, you're going to appreciate it more, in my opinion. So it's good to work towards those things. So say I want to get a sponsor that pays for my stuff, but in the meantime I have to pay for my stuff, right? So I have to figure out a way to pay for my stuff and balance pool and working out, eating right, all this other stuff, right? So what I had to do when I was younger, I think when I first started playing pool, I was really big into baseball, basketball. I was playing at my high school, and the thing is I think I realized I was short like halfway through my life, but but I realized basketball wasn't for me, right? Because they don't have a 5, 6 and under league. So what am I going to do? Right? Get dunked on all day. So I decided to play pool, right? So I was, in middle school, I was shooting free throws every day, even on Christmas and the rain. I really wanted to be a good basketball player, but the elements weren't on my side. So I had to find a way to put this passion into something else, and I picked pool, and it actually picked me, because I'm glad that I found pool for sure. But back to the other sports, I think doing other sports kind of helps you with something else. So I'm really keen on doing other things that you like, especially athletics, because it keeps you in shape. When I stopped playing basketball and baseball, I had to work out on my own, which was kind of tough because you weren't forced to do it, right? So now I'm just kind of figuring that out right now. Trying to get into the swing of things and figuring out for myself, which is tough too. But what I would say is, whatever way you have to do. Because when I was in high school, I had, I would always go to restaurants because they were easily replaceable, and it was easy to get time off. So if I say, hey, I have this tournament coming up, I need this weekend off, but I'm willing to work these next 3 weekends just so I can go to this one tournament this weekend, fine, right? So you either work like a day shift where you go in at 9 or 10, get off 4 or 5, then you go practice. You work a night shift, you practice from like 11, whenever the pool hall opens around you. If you're lucky, you have a table. From 11 to 4, and then at 4 you put your work clothes on, you go. I was always in the restaurant industries because I had prior experience there, and they let me. They were more loose with the schedule, so that find a job that you can do to make an extra money to provide for yourself, and while you're chasing pool is very big. And if you're fortunate enough, you won't have to, but treat it like it's your job from a younger age. That's what I would have told myself. I never did any drills or went to a coach for mechanics or anything like that until I went to Mark Wilson in St. Louis when I went to college there. So that was at Lindenwood University. I went there, and the rest was history. But Mark was my first coach at 18, and up until then I had no prior coaching really. So I would recommend getting a coach for your mechanics and get a second set of eyes on you. If you are a junior player, you can always message me or call me, text me, do however you'd like to contact me. I will be there for you, and I will let you in on anything you'd like to know. Drills to do, mental preparation. If you just want to talk and you need someone to talk to, I'm here also. So. And if you'll notice that a lot of younger professionals like myself, they're very into helping younger players because it wasn't that long ago that I was you. So it's kind of funny because I feel like sometimes when I go to these junior tournaments, I'm like the old man that's just like, I remember back in the day, but that's not me yet. So just hit me up. I'll message you back, and we'll figure out something. Maybe we'll get you on a training schedule where you do 9-ball, 10-ball, straight pool, kick shots. You know what I mean? Like, just do a little schedule for yourself. This is one of the books that I have. I write down all my practice sessions. Some days I'll start with like 3 innings of straight pool, 4 innings of 15-ball. So obviously innings is shoot till you miss. Straight pool 3 innings would be, say you get a 50, and you start back over, you miss, you start back over, then you restart it with a break ball, and you try to do it again. Say you get a 7, whatever it is. You got to be very brutally honest and write it all down, because then you can see your progress. Oh, this day I was off, this day I was on. It's getting more consistent. It's all better when you write it down. Let's see here. Yeah, so I don't have a whole lot else actually. I kind of covered the basics on it. Oh, that's right. Okay, so back when I was younger, I used to have to obviously get myself to these tournaments, and my parents helped me out with what I needed, and it was amazing. And I also had a lot of very supportive people around me. I grew up playing at Sticks Billiards in Ventura, California, which is amazing, and Jerry Matchin owns it. And I would just go in there and play 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 7 hours a day, just because I loved it so much, and I love it so much that it didn't feel like work to me, right? It's because I was just trying to chase a dream. And so when I see other kids doing that, I want to help. And so now with the JIC, the Junior International Championships, held by Ra Hanna, Corey Wolford, Trina Wolford, they all run those set of tournaments, right? I wish I had that kind of, I don't know, I just wish I had that opportunity when I was younger, because I had to wait. If I lost in the BEF Junior Nationals, I had to wait a whole year to try again. It felt like, it wasn't like the Olympics, obviously, you had to wait every 4 years, but like to me it felt longer. I was thinking about a ball I missed for a whole year. I couldn't just play another tournament the next month, so I'm all of you are very fortunate that you can go play the Junior International Championships held by Ra Hanna on the Wire Creative Media. He's live streaming all your matches. You know, if you're on the TV table, you're live streaming all the matches, which is awesome because you get to go and look back at what you did, which is amazing and a crucial part of the actual evolutionary process, right? Yeah, I mean, it's awesome, you know, and I was the photographer for that for the first season, so I got a lot of good photographs of everybody, and that was great for the first season, but then I realized that I needed to put more emphasis on my pool career, which this year hasn't turned out amazing, but I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself this year, and you know, when you're in the spotlight a lot, there's a lot of pressure going on, and you just have to make sure that you're ready when the time comes, right? So, yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of changes this year. I've not just in pool, but in my general area of life, right? As you get older, you experience more things, and some stuff happens to you that, you know, just some real life stuff. So, yeah, so this was my first podcast kind of sort of show, and I would like to thank my sponsors, Salado App, Predator Cues, Fort Worth Billiards, Town Billiards, Chalk, Tips, and On the Wire Creative Media, and Littman Lights. So we're going to be kind of doing some promos for them throughout the year, the rest of this year, and now that I'm kind of getting into the swing of it, it's going to be a little easier, but yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this, and be sure to share, and see you in the next one.